And I'd like to add to this, just before we start doing a little bit of recitation, maybe I can kind of answer the questions from last week that we had a little bit about historical accuracies and also maybe a few facts and what does the Quran, the Sunnah, and the Tafsir and the ulama say about them. For instance, let's start with the first question that I had. Um, did the typhoon or did the big rain of that was sent to the people of Noah, did it destroy the whole earth, or did it just destroy only the area of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam? So some people say that this big rain or this typhoon, tufan in Arabic, covered all the earth, and not just the area of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. And they take the proof as Surah Al-Qamar. In Surah Al-Qamar, there is a succession of different verses, whereby it starts from verse 10. Like, for example, Surah Al-Qamar is chapter 54. And if we take verse 10, it says, فَدَعَا رَبَّهُ أَنِّي مَغْلُوبٌ فَانْتَصِرْ. So this is Nuh again. He is making dua to his Lord, and he says, so he invokes his Lord and says, indeed, I am overpowered, so help. These people cannot follow. Please help me, Allah. So the result is Allah replies to his dua, فَفَتَحْنَا أَبْوَابَ السَّمَاءِ بِمَاءٍ مُنْهَمِرٍ. Then we open the gates of the heaven, or with the sky. We said the heaven, the sama refers to the sky or the rain. بِمَاءٍ مُنْهَمِرٍ, with rain pouring down. And here is the proof some people hold for the fact that it was the whole earth. وَفَجَّرْنَا الْأَرْضَ عُيُونًا فَالْتَقَى الْمَاءُ عَلَى أَمْرٍ قَدْ قُدِرَ, and caused the earth to burst with springs and the waters met for a matter already predestined. Al-Ard, the earth, okay? Not just one area, the whole earth, okay? وَحَمَلْنَاهُ عَلَى ذَاتِ أَلْوَاحٍ وَدُسُرٍ, and we carried Nuh or him on a construction of planks and nails. Planks, wood, and nails, meaning iron. That's the Safina, that's the ship of Noah. So based on this verse, they say that Al-Ard is the earth. Now, mind you, my brothers and sisters, because in Arabic, some people say that the earth means the land, not the planet Earth, or the whole planet. So this is another kind of little distinction to make. Al-Ard, do we talk about the earth, planet Earth, or the land? Al-Ard. Okay. Now another proof, they say that this is the whole planet that was covered with this typhoon. It comes from the chapter itself, the chapter of Surah Nuh itself. And if we go, because we are not studying this verse today, but if we skip from verse 24, where we stopped, to verse 26, we have this verse that says, وَقَالَ نُوحٌ رَبِّي لَا تَذَرْ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ دَيَّارًا. So now Prophet Nuh is making dua against his people, and he says, Ya Allah, do not leave upon this earth from among the believers and inhabitants. Don't leave anyone alive on this earth, upon the earth. لا تذر على الأرض من الكافرين ديارا. Don't leave on this earth among the disbelievers and inhabitants. Wipe them out. Okay, so this is from verse 26 itself. Wipe out all the disbelievers. Don't leave any of them as an inhabitant. But others, not so that's one understanding, right? So others say that, it seems to be like others which constitute a less important number of fuqaha. They say that it's not the whole planet. It's just where Rasul Nuh alayhi salat salam is used to live. Okay, so that's one question. So there's no definite clear-cut answer here, right? Still a scholarly disagreement, it seems. Now, second question, and I will address your other questions later, my brothers and sisters, so if you bear with me, inshallah, is Did Prophet Nuh alayhi salam take from animals a pair of different species from all the species of the whole world? Actually, this is not mentioned in the chapter we are studying this week. There is no verse that states that, but there is another verse from another chapter which is in Surah Hud. In Surah Hud, it says, حتى إذا جاء أمرنا وفارت النور قل نحمل فيها من كل زوجين اثنين وأهلك إلا من سبق عليه القول ومن آمن وما آمن معه إلا قليل. So it was until when our command came and the oven overflowed. We said, load upon it the ship of each creature, two mates and your family, two mates. From each creature, two mates. So many people say that this is not, the majority of the fuqaha, they say it's not actually all the species of all animals of earth, like the Bible and the other narrations, which are non-Islamic narrations. They say, especially, for example, if you take the Tafseer of Ibn Kathir, which is a very, very famous tafsir, and Tafseer Al-Tabari, they say that this verse means that he took a pair of animals that were the essential animals for human survival, meaning livestock animals, domesticated animals, something which is the key species for that local environment. And this interpretation suggests that Nuh alayhi salam did not take every single animal species worldwide, like giraffes, hippopotamus, whatever, because basically he used to live maybe in an ecosystem that didn't have all the animals of the world, and that makes sense, right? You cannot, for instance, in this area of the world, there's certain animals or species that are not found in other areas of the world, and even if you want to, you cannot bring them with you because they don't exist. So that seems to be the more reasonable claim by the Mufassirun. And now a third question, I hope is not too long. Why is Prophet Nuh sometimes called the second Adam or the smaller Adam? The second Adam or small. So this saying is not a saying of many of the people of knowledge. I have to tell you, brothers and sisters, this is not a definite statement because it's also a source of scholarly dispute. Like the second point here doesn't seem to be a source of dispute, but this third point, people disagree. Not everybody calls him the second Adam because some say that it is not all humanity that was wiped out because some of the people who were in his nation were wiped out, others were saved. And the second voice of the ulama say, yes, he is the second Adam because of the ayah in Surah Al-Saffat. In Surah Al-Saffat, they claim that, and actually connects to our first point. In Surah Al-Saffat, verses 75 to 77, talking about Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, وَلَقَدْ نَادَانَا نُوحٌ فَلَنِعْمَ الْمُجِيبُونَ. And Noah had certainly called us. So you see the nida or dua is Allah is being called by his worshippers or his prophets, and we are the best of responders. So we responded to his call. وَنَجَّيْنَاهُ وَأَهْلَهُ مِنَ الْكَرْبِ الْعَظِيمِ. And we saved him and his family from the great affliction, i.e. from the flood. وَجَعَلْنَا ذُرِّيَّتَهُ هُمُ الْبَاقِينَ. And we have made his descendants those remaining on the earth. His descendants, those remaining on the earth. Okay, so whatever has remained from the ship is his descendants and whoever remains after that subsequently on the earth. So this is one of the sources whereby the second category of ulama say that actually that's why he's called the second Adam, because after him that was like the beginning of another generation. As far as the fourth question that has been raised in our discussions, in our tadabbur, is it realistic to claim that Prophet Nuh alayhi salam lived 950 years or 1,000 years minus 50? And to be honest, this is the only one where I do not have a definite answer. I do not have a definite answer, so I will refrain from making any comments because we are asked to only make claims about what we know, and we cannot invent falsehood about what Allah has claimed in His book. So I'd rather not say anything than to just extrapolate or use my opinion or my thinking to give you my thoughts on this. So I'd rather not say anything about it. Okay, Jazakumullah khair. Please, you can take the floor and ask questions, or maybe if you have comments or additions to what I've said, everything is welcome. I'll stop talking now, inshallah. Any questions from our audience or from our participants? Or comments? That's fine too.
Yeah.
Yes, Sister Farzana?
I'm sorry, my throat is out of service.
Inshallah, you are fine. No problem. I hope you're okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, actually, if we are like saying about Prophet Nuh, but we mostly heard that he lived for 1,000 years. Where do we get that idea?
There is a verse from it actually that I'm trying to find. I think I mentioned
It's chapter
I
29.
found it. So.
Chapter 29.
Verse 14, right?
No,
yeah.
29, ayat 14.
Yeah,
29, 14.
That's right, yeah. Qur'an 29, 14. Okay. So here it says in this chapter and verse, this is Surah Al-Ankabut, the spider. وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا نُوحًا إِلَىٰ قَوْمِهِ فَلَبِثَ فِيهِمْ أَلْفَ سَنَةٍ إِلَّا 50 عَامًا فَأَخَذَهُمُ الطُّوفَانُ وَهُمْ ظَالِمُونَ. So Tufan is mentioned typhoon, but Prophet Nuh's lifespan is mentioned. He remained among them 1,000 years minus 50 years. Actually, some people say that his lifespan is more than 950 years. Why? Because this only mentions just from the time he was sent until the flood. It doesn't mention after the flood, right? The life after, because they survived the flood, obviously, right? He did not die immediately after the flood. So it means that more than that. It is Allahu Alam. So you understand, right? So it means that he remained among them 1,000 years minus 50 years, and the flood seized them. So it means before that he remained 950,000 years, and subsequently the flood seized them. So it means it doesn't mention the episode after the seizure of the flood and their lives after that. So obviously it means that there is a sequence or there is a phase which is not mentioned in these 950 years. This is anti or like prior to the actual flood. Fa, because the word fa in Arabic introduces a sequence or something coming after. فَأَخَذَهُمُ الطُّوفَانُ. Sorry, I interrupted you, Sister Farzana. Go ahead.
Yes, sure. Yeah, that's what I want to know, because we always heard that it's 1,000 years minus 50 years. So as the Quran said, then this means that this is the correct figure.
Right. And some people say the early generations.
Yeah, before typhoon, as you mentioned, before typhoon, we have this figure, but we are not sure about after typhoon. Yeah, got it.
Right. And another thing is that some people might be puzzled by the long life of the prophets before. So we don't know that definite answer, of course, Allahu Alam, but there are a few indications of the previous nations, how their constitution was better than later generations. Like I found in another chapter in Surah Nuh, for example, how their physical dispositions was better than our physical dispositions right now. Like here it says, أَوَلَمْ يَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَيَنْظُرُوا كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ كانوا أشد منهم قوة وأثاروا الأرض وعمروها وأكثر مما عمروها. So let me translate this. It's Surah Nuh, chapter 30, verse 9. Have they not traveled through the earth and observed how was the end of those before them, meaning all the previous generations? They were greater than them in power. and they plowed or excavated the earth and built it up more than the Meccans, have built it up. So it means that obviously those people had a higher physical capacity and maybe physical morphological dispositions were comparably much superior than the later generation. So this is just a slight indication, which is not a definite answer again, but it helps us to understand how previous earlier generations' lifespans might have been longer than the later generations. Although now we observe in our current day and age that people live longer lives actually due to medicine and developments in science. So Allahu Alam, and we will know one day. Allah will reveal everything to us, but at this stage we don't really know 100%. Yeah.
Dr. Salim.
You have more questions? Yes, brother.
About referring back to the previous verse, chapter 29:14, that the word Sanatin,
yes.
is it means the year that we are having today? Sanatin. Is there any other meaning?
Oh, well, from the apparent surface meaning of the Quran, sana means a year.
Year, okay.
Right. But I'm not sure about the exact other meanings associated, because the Quran also uses am, also another word for, I think it's in Surah Yusuf. That also means a year. But I might want to also get into that if you would like me to check out, inshallah.
Yeah.
Sana is am. The literal translation of it is am.
Maybe
There's no note actually.
Yeah. Maybe I just mentioned that there's one I don't know, scholar or what guy who claimed that because before the people do not know the concept of year, and they only know about the moon revolving. Therefore, this is only the moon, the month, and therefore it say that this is 950 months. If you divide by 12, it is about less than 80 years. Is it that this is more logical? But where does it come from, this kind of idea?
I would not go there, because this is, where does he get his proof? I don't
exactly.
claim anything unless I have a proof. I can, of course, make my brain,
Yes, of course.
start to make some deductions.
Anything out of empty.
It's everybody has a brain and they can use it and to make some logical inferences and deductions. But whether that is consistent or has any proof, that's another thing.
But yeah, for about
because even in the Quran, Go ahead. Sorry, sister. Go ahead.
Yeah, Brother Yusuf, I will add another point to it. I have heard another, I don't know, it's somewhere, I don't know from where, but it is like said that when Israel alayhi salam came to take the rule from Nuh alayhi salam, and then he was said, oh, my life is too short. And then he told him that in the coming time, the people will have only about 60 years of lifespan. Then he said that, oh, then I will just, for 60 years, I will just spend that time in sajda.
SubhanAllah.
So
this is a hadith?
I'm not sure, but I have heard this many times. So I have to look for it.
Yes.
But
you are right. I mean, it's good. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think like this point shows that time the people really have long life, and the coming people will have about 60 years, something like that.
Right, absolutely. There are also things, when I was doing my research, like what you said, Sister Farzana, is very interesting actually. Some of them are from the hadith, right? And some are from the Israeliyat, You know what's Israeliyat is, like the stories originating from the Christian and Jewish traditions. So some of them we can listen to, but it doesn't mean that they are 100% reliable. Some of them agree actually with the Quran and the Sunnah, but some of them contradict the authentic Sunnah. For example, there are some Israeliyat that claim that some of the prophets committed major sins. So you cannot agree with that. Definitely not.
Yeah, Master.
But you know, the story of Prophet Yusuf, for example, it has similarities with the Israeliyat. So, you know, it's kind of taking it with a pinch of salt also, some of these narrations. Wallahu a'lam. This is fascinating, actually. There's a lot of people who specialize in certain areas of tafsir, talking about, for example, you know, ilmu akhir as-sa'a, like the knowledge of the end of times. Those scholars just specialize in that, or other scholars specialized in stories of about Prophet Nuh. So it's nice if we can actually look into the sources online through people who have talked about this and who have done their research. Sometimes in English, it's not always available, so we have to check other languages. I think in Arabic, there's a lot of scholars, but they're not always translated into English, fortunately.
Yeah.
I'm talking about YouTube, especially, you know, like visual source of knowledge that we like to consume. Yeah. Jazakumullah khair. Do you have any other comments or any things you'd like to ask about, which we can probably take note of, and then we can come back to it next week? That's also okay. Anyone raise their hand? No? Okay. Not a problem. Okay, then let's have a little bit of recitation then.